Oh my goodness, welcome back. Today we are doing another game review. The purpose of these is to review games that I played and try to look at the cards in action, from talking about all the stuff from the Learn to Play series and then looking in action. So this is Maliss v. Elfnote. I don't remember if I did illegal plays in this. I probably did, and I trust someone will point them out. Let's get into it. Y'all, I did a little preview of it, and there's definitely an illegal play coming up. Anyway, I won the dice roll, so I am going first. I start with Allure of Darkness. I have been changing my strategy since playing these games to do more of my normal summon stuff first and hold on to the extenders. So I do Allure, gonna get that Fuvalos chained to it, which immediately, as a Maliss player, I'm like, okay, the goal is just to get into Cryptor. I think that's personally the best thing you can do under Fuvalos with the least amount of card draws. So I started a chain by doing Allure of Darkness. So I was chain 1, they chain 2, Fuvalos, which says if you control no cards, quick effect, meaning it can be activated at any point during either turn, you can discard this card, apply these effects. Each time your opponent special summons a monster from the deck and or extra deck, immediately draw 1 card. And then it has this whole thing about how at the end phase, if no one ever reads that part never comes up. If it's come up for you, let me know. I've never seen it come up. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and draw my 2, and then anytime I special summon, he's going to get a draw. For Allure of Darkness, I either have to banish a dark monster from hand or banish my entire hand. I unfortunately had to banish the March Hare. This is the worst one, in my opinion, to banish. It does have the trigger effect of if this card is banished, you can pay 300 life points. So cost, I activate March Hare, I pay the 300 life points, and then I can target one of my banished Maliss monsters and add it to my hand. That's the only one in banishment, so I am going to add it back. I am then going to go ahead and normal summon that March Hare. It's pretty clear at this point that I don't have other Maliss names in hand, right? If you're trying to practice a read of oh, what could she possibly do? I don't have much. So I'm going to go ahead and link it into Lingribo. This will now, the trigger for, I mean, I guess it's not technically a trigger. The Fuvalos, he's going to draw his card, right? Because I special summoned. So Lingribo just takes 1 level 4 or lower Cyberse monster to link into. He draws the card. Okay, here's where the illegal play is going to happen. So because I control a Cyberse monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, so this is the activation requirement, right? I can target 1 dark Cyberse monster in my graveyard, which I have, that is Hare, and I can special summon both Wizard Adagnister and the targeted monster in defense position. But you gotta keep reading. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except Cyberse monsters. I want you to take a guess what I'm gonna do later in this turn. So I meet the condition in order to special Wizard from hand. It is activating in hand though, so there can be a response because this is starting a chain. So this is not a inherent summon. This is something can happen in order to make this not a possible thing. So for example, if the Hare was no longer in my graveyard, this would fizzle. It wouldn't be able to summon itself in the Hare. So I'm going to go ahead. It goes through though. Yay for me. And now I am allegedly Cyberse locked. Fine so far. I go ahead and do Cryptor, which was the plan, right? Because I have special summon from extra deck. So the plan is to get into Cryptor, but however, I don't have any banished Maliss monsters. So if you read Cryptor's quick effect, it says you can target one of your banished Maliss cards, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, banish 1 card on the field. So the whole point of having Cryptor out is for that interruption, that quick effect of being able to target a banished Maliss card. I don't have any. So what do? I Magnum up. This is an illegal play because he's not Cyberse. He's not even close. He's a dragon. And so I, under the wizard, I should not have been able to do this, but we cheat, we live, we learn. But the reason I did this was in order to get a banished Maliss monster. If anyone has any suggestions of what I could have done differently under the Fuvalos, that's the thing that made this difficult, was trying to not give my opponent a ton of draws. Anyway, Magnuma has you can target 1 light or dark monster in either graveyard, so that is an activation requirement. So I targeted the Hare. If it goes through, because this is starting a chain, it's not an inherent summon, I will banish the targeted monster and then special summon the Magnum from hand. It's a quick effect. If my opponent controls a monster, it's my turn, so that doesn't matter. And if this is a special summoned, if this card special summons, that is an on-summon trigger effect. So I will activate the effect to, during end phase, search a dragon monster. So I activate the effect, and in response, it gets Veilered. So I did have to activate the effect during the window that it was triggered, but the Veiler does happen now instead of happening when it's searching. So it gets Veilered, so no search for me, which is, you know what I deserve, considering that was an illegal play. So I pass turn. I'm going to go ahead and pass turn on that illegal play. I have 1 interruption and a pseudo beat stick. My opponent is playing Elfnote. I have said so many times I want to learn to play Elfnote. I want to learn to play Canine for Hire. All these decks are decks that we own, and I just haven't gotten around. I'm on a Maliss kick right now. But I'm going to try my best to explain Elfnote, despite I haven't played it personally, but I've played against it a decent amount. Opponent is going to draw for turn, and they are playing Fiend Smith Elfnote, which I think is a pretty common build. So they are going to activate Fiend Smith Track, which is going to let them add 1 light fiend monster from their deck to their hand, then discard 1 card. So I think they're adding Larry is my guess. So that goes through. They are going to add, yep, Larry. Funny story about that. I call him Larry because first time I played against this, I thought he said Larry, and I was like, who is Larry? And now that's just the running joke. So Larry, because of tracked, then you have to discard. So you search Larry, you discard Larry, because this has a trigger effect of if this card is discarded to the graveyard, special summon it. So going to activate Larry to special summon it from graveyard because the trigger has been met. I could respond to it, which I do. I have the Ghost Spell. So again, if you looked at Larry, it had the semicolon colon. I'm not gonna lie, right now it's kind of tiny on my screen, but that one of those punctuations means that it is activating. It is a trigger effect that gets activated. I can have a response to it, which I do. I have the Ghost Spell. The Ghost Spell is going to negate the entire activation of Larry. And the reason I can do this is because Larry is attempting to special summon from the graveyard. So meets one of the conditions when a card or effect is activated that includes any of these effects. So it includes the effect to special summon from graveyard. So we're going to Ghost Spell and basically say no. This is something I've learned. You want to stop Larry. He does a lot for being a little man. Oh, look at my hand. 2 Ghost Spells. Do we think I'm going to win this? I'm going to try. So the Elfnote monsters. So if you're learning Yu-Gi-Oh, I think when you pick an archetype, they're all going to have this like gimmick, right? So Maliss monsters, when they're banished, you pay 300 for the little ones, 900 for the big ones. They get to resummon themselves. That's like the whole way the deck works. Elfnote monsters have that if you don't control a monster in your center monster zone, you can special summon them. So that's their whole thing, is that they're all going to have that. You can special summon this card from your hand to your center main monster zone. You can only special summon once per turn. So he is going to special summon Tania to the main monster zone and then attempt to activate the effect to search. He is going to go ahead and search Elfnote's Welcome Home. So Elfnote Welcome Home is going to get activated, meaning placed. So this is a continuous field spell, meaning there's like 2 points of activation with like the specific one. It's very similar to like Nightmare Pain or My Friend Pearly. So it's activated, meaning placed. Either immediately after placing the card, like activating by placing, you can activate the effect of the card, or you can do it later. So in between, and I think this is where I goofed. I'm not gonna lie. I think this was not the right call on my part. In between him activating the card and activating the effect, I decide to quick effect Cryptor to banish it. My logic was Cryptor banishes, it doesn't negate. And so I was thinking, oh, I don't even want him to get a chance to activate the effect. But because it's a continuous spell, it has to stay on the field to resolve anyway. So I would have been fine. But it does have a cost of it. And so I was trying to not let the Welcome Home cost happen. Let me look up what the cost was real quick. Okay, so for cost, you send 1 monster from hand or field to the graveyard. So I was trying to avoid cost being paid because then he gets the monster into the graveyard. I know he's playing Fiendsmith, and so I was like, I don't want the cost to be paid, so I'm going to go right in the window between where the card is placed activated and when the effect is activated. I'm going to Cryptor banish it, but because I do that, that does mean that he is going to be able to attempt to activate the effect of another Welcome Home because he has not attempted to activate the effect yet. So I do go ahead and Cryptor. I have to target a card in banishment in order to non-targeting banish one of his cards and the card I targeted. So my hair is going to get shuffled back in and the Welcome Home will get banished. Cryptor is a once per turn. That's what I chose to use it on. I don't think that was necessarily the play. I think I could have definitely done something better. So he is going to go ahead and summon Elfnote Power Patron, which is going to lock him into synchro monsters. So then he is going to synchro those two off into Elfnote Seraphim Strelitzia. Strelitzia has a quick effect that says, I'm looking over to my computer to read it. You can special summon one level 6 or lower Elfnote monster from your hand or graveyard. Then you can reduce the levels of all level 4 or higher monsters on the field by 3 until the end of turn. And then you are also locked. He's already locked from the Power Patron, but you get locked into synchros again. This is a quick effect. So the point of this is to be able to special summon out a level 6 or lower Elfnote monster. You only get one normal summon per game, right? So stuff like this is going to help you extend and keep summoning. So then he is going to special Lucina from hand. I think she's the prettiest one. Not to pick favorites with the Elfnotes, but he's going to go ahead and special summon Lucina from hand. Note about all the Elfnote monsters is while they are inherent summons in order to special summon themselves from the hand to the main monster zone, their effects are actually ignition effects, meaning there is a window to respond. So if you remember, trigger effects is when the trigger is met. If something happens, you get to do the thing. But Tinia, the search, was actually an ignition effect. Same thing with Lucina. So Lucina is going to get special summoned off of the Strelitzia, and there is time in order for me to respond. The ignition effect of Lucina says you can only use each of the following effects once per turn during your main phase, so it will start a chain. Notice it doesn't say if, it just says like during your main phase. That's how I know it's an ignition effect. You can add one Elfnote monster from your deck to hand. So special summoned, there is a window. He does the ignition effect and it goes through. He adds an Elfnote Power Patron. And then there's another Welcome Home. So this is where I was saying. Now, it does say you can only use this effect of Elfnote Welcome Home once per turn. We're going to talk about hard once per turns in the Learn to Play series, but because it actually like literally says Elfnote Welcome Home, that's how you know it is a like hard once per turn. But I didn't let him activate the effect because I crypted because I didn't want him to get the monster into the graveyard. I felt like it was worth it, but alas, here we are on another Welcome Home. He's going to get to do the effect. He's going to get an Elfnote Fortuna out. Again, if you read the Elfnote cards, they are all going to have that inherent summon of into the main monster zone, and then they have an ignition effect. Elfnote Fortuna is going to allow him to search. I don't have anything, y'all. You saw my hand. I got 2 ghost spells, and I already ghost spelled, and she's once per turn. So there's no responses coming from me. He is going to search the continuous spell, Elfnote Rhapsodia of Madness. And then he goes to battle phase. Okay, so he attacks. He's going to go into main 2, and he's going to activate the continuous spell, Rhapsody of Madness. This says you can send one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one Elfnote monster in your graveyard with a different original attribute and special summon it. So you're going to notice that the Fortuna and the Patron have different attributes. When he was originally doing this, he was doing the Lucina, but the Lucina and the Patron had the same attributes. So he had to be mindful of what he was going to send and what he was going to summon. So he sends the Fortuna, he summons the Power Patron. He is now going to synchro into Crystal Wing once per turn. When another monster's effect is activated, quick effect, meaning that you can do it in, whenever. It's not triggering. We, at this point in the Learn to Play series, haven't covered quick effects, but we're going to get there. You can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. And if you do that, this card gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. So basically, it's an Omni Negate. It's even better than an Omni Negate because it negates and destroys. Those are like the best possible things. I just heard back from the Konami lab, and I was told that Crystal Wing is not an Omni Negate. I would like to sincerely apologize to everybody that I misspoke. I've since been corrected. It is a monster negate. It is not an Omni Negate. Don't come for me. Your girl is still learning. It does negate and destroy though. Continuing on. So here's my turn, and I have the terraforming. And so I go ahead and get a Maliss Underground, and I attempt to activate a Maliss Underground, but it gets ghost spelled. Now here is where I learned something super, super fun. If the activation of a field spell is negated, it goes to grave. I didn't know that. So this was a whole learning experience for me, being like, what do you mean it goes to grave? The activation's negated, so it is going to go ahead and go to grave. I normal summon the ghost spell, go into the Owl Mirage, and then I link into SB. Again, if someone SB passes, you probably know that that's not great. The Malice Underground was my last attempt, y'all. I mean, you saw I had 2 ghost spells in hand. Crystal Wing is going to go ahead and negate the SB and attempt to destroy it. So I linked into SB with a link monster, and SB says if this card is link summoned using a fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link monster as material, you can target 1 card on the field or either graveyard and banish it. So that was why I went into the Almirage first and didn't just use the ghost spell and the Bistral to go into SB. But Crystal Wing is going to negate and attempt to destroy. I will then chain SB, which has the quick effect of when your opponent activates a card or effect. So my opponent is activating Crystal Wing, and I will chain SB to target 2 face-up monsters on the field, including a monster I control. So I'm going to target the Crystal Wing, target the SB. This is so I can dodge the blow up. So SB is not going to get destroyed. She does, however, get negated. And then we go to end phase, and they come back and draw. Go ahead and special summon the Tinia into the center monster zone. Battle phase, beat over the SB. So that way, you want to beat over the SB first. So in case there's any monster effects that are going to get activated, you do not have the SB happen, which is going to, dodge itself. And then, big numbers, big damage. Because the Rhapsodia is, I believe, giving, oh no, he activates the Rhapsodia. We're going to talk about battle and damage phase, I promise. During the battle phase, he's able to activate the continuous trap Rhapsodia, which is going to let him get more monsters out in order to summon them. I thought I was smart because I was like, no, you're not going to kill me. I still have 1 more ghost spell. He has the Crystal Wing, which would negate and destroy. So your girl was dead no matter what. So then new monsters came out during the battle phase, and I died. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. Honestly, doing this stuff is helpful for me because I want to learn how to play Elfnotes, but also playing against Elfnotes, taking the time to look up the cards, read the cards, understand things like Crystal Wing is not an Omni Negate. It's just a monster negate and destroy. So I hope it's helpful for all of you to kind of see what certain cards in certain archetypes are doing that are currently out there in the meta universe of Yu-Gi-Oh! But then also, yeah, I caught that illegal wizard play. If you have any tips of what I could have done better, or any tips for playing into Fuvalos with Malice, or just anything that you saw, would super appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully this helps put some of the concepts from the Learn to Play series into action of what the cards are doing when you sit down for a real game. Okay, let me get the boy. This is for Hamey, by the way. Hamey insists on seeing the boy. Come here. Oh, your tongue is out. Come here. The people want to see you. Oh, he's big Mimi's right now, y'all. He's big. Come here. Can you come here? I need to get you. The people insist. I can lift you up in your bed. Oh, big groan. Okay. Here's the baby. What's on your head? He can't speak right now. He had a whole party yesterday. He had a birthday party. And he's really tired from it. But we both, can I turn you around at least? He looks so stinking cute. Oh, no, my client does not wish to be filmed today. But we'll see you next time, huh? We'll see you on the next video.